Welcome to our consummate agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, January 26th, 2022, and this is All the Leads Mastermind podcast number 363. Thank you for for the music man there, a little protest music, given what's going on in the news. Good job there. I have nothing to subtle there, in case some people didn't get that was by Neil Young, and he's having a little issue with Spotify, so we enjoyed that beginning to the preamble to the call. Partners, I got nothing this week, nothing new to share. Bruce, anything you'd like to get the meeting started with?
Yeah, look for an email. This is going to be really fast. Look for an email from us and me at All the Leads, Bruce at alltheleads.com, sometime within the next few days, announcing our February class schedule. And for those of you that haven't been into Foundations, or you have and you want to come back again, we've got our February Foundations class coming up next Wednesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern time each day. So go register on that. Go, if you don't know where, just go to the alltheleads.com page to training, professional real estate coaching, and you'll see Probate Foundations. Look forward to seeing you guys in that class. And then there's going to be at least 2 or 3 other classes next month as well that you guys are going to want to jump in on. We had a great listing mastery class this past Tuesday. If you didn't make it to that, we will almost have to do it again. It was such a large turnout that I think we're going to end up probably putting that on every couple of months. So that's all I have for you guys, though.
Just to clarify, Bruce, go ahead, Tim. You go first.
Nope.
I was going to say oh, shut up. Just to clarify, all of these training classes, including Foundations and the additional ones that you're offering, literally thousands of dollars in valuable training. It's all free for All the Leads subscribers, correct?
That's correct. I'm not going to say that we'll never charge for a really highly advanced class in the future, but right now, if you are an All the Leads subscriber, anything that you're seeing on these monthly list of coaching calls are all free right now. So take advantage of them while they're free, just in case that changes in the future.
There you go. There's the teaser. Tim, what did you want to add, sir?
Oh, Bruce, I was asking pretty much straight up, how many bodies did you have on that? I understood registration was just through the roof. That was what I was asking.
Yeah.
I know you had
we had
100 people registered.
Yeah, we had 131 people signed up for that class. And generally speaking, and just for those of you that have never done webinars, you typically end up getting around maybe 20 to 30% of actual attendees. So we had 130 registered. A couple of them were duplicates, and we ended up with about 90 people on that class. So insanely high turnout. People stayed till the end. We went long. It was a 2-hour class. It was slated for an hour and 30 minutes. It was 2 hours because everybody had questions. It was just a really, really good class, kind of going over the fundamentals of what to do when you're on the appointment. Not how to get the appointment, but what to do when you're on the appointment. And we're going to be putting some classes together here really soon about how to actually get the appointment. So it was great turnout.
Perfect. Excellent. Chuck, anything you want to start us with, sir?
Yes, I just have to say that we have a lot of impressive new subscribers coming in. There's some real rock stars that are coming in and looking to add probate to their business as a lead generation source. And I've been able to spend some time with folks over the past week on the coaching calls, and it doesn't have to be a big shift. There's not big things that need to be changed in most people's business to really push the needle to where you're able to set those appointments and really start doing deals. And we've got a really good group of subscribers that are looking to go out there and help people overcome the obstacles in probate. So I'm really excited for what 2022 has in store for many of our subscribers. So if you're kind of, stalling out a little bit and looking for what could be that little edge, and you're a subscriber, set up a monthly strategy call with me. I'd be happy to dive into your business and really look into what are some of the small changes, small tweaks that you can make to really get more appointments and ultimately do more deals.
Yeah, and as I mentioned with Bruce, this is all part of being a subscriber, and it doesn't. Obviously, we come from a probate perspective. We're getting ready to add other lead sources, but it doesn't necessarily have to focus on probate. It can be pretty much any aspect of your business, because any of the tools, techniques that you're going to apply to probate can be applied to, any other lead source you're pursuing, and mainly just kind of treating your overall business like a business, which is somewhat novel for the real estate industry. So, Tim, anything you want to start with, or should we get to? We have one person in the queue. Go ahead.
No, I do. I'm ready to. I want to talk about a couple things.
Sure.
If you've been on the call for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've been talking about cash advance and stuff like that. And I told you that we were in the middle of doing some discussion and negotiating on going forward with some of this information. And we finished that up this morning, literally this morning, like less than an hour ago, I think, or a couple hours ago. Had an opportunity not only to speak with the principals and go through it all, actually talk to the people involved with the hedge fund and all that. So it's an exciting opportunity for us, and there are some other pieces of this, and I'll just kind of give this a broad brush. But I think in the beginning, that we put this program out and we had it set up so that, if anybody that you're dealing with needs to get money quickly, and there is something that can be proven and attached via the will in regard to that. In other words, if they're promised a certain amount of money or a percentage of property or anything that could be actuarially assumed by a lender to make an advance against, and it's not a loan; it's literally an advance against their position in the inheritance. They're going to make that advance and put that money out there. And originally, it had been worked out so that you guys could get $300 every time you referred somebody over. And in the discussion about that, we sort of said, well, that sort of makes sense if they're going to borrow $5,000. $300 seems like a pretty fair shot and all that. If they're going to go borrow $20,000, getting $300 for you maybe isn't exactly what you're looking for. So we kind of went back to the table there and had some additional discussions in regard to that. And we've now arranged to make that a significantly larger payoff for you and the people that you're working with. So, excuse me. You're going to be able to potentially just take it all the way to the top. That they'll lend up to $500,000, and it's a big estate. Money needs to come out quickly. They're willing to advance rather up to $500,000 in hard cash to the heirs, and your action on that deal right now could net you as much as $20,000. So this becomes a significant opportunity for you as well. And I'm not going to get into much more than that right now, because literally I've got to get this written up and we're going to put it up on a page. And what you'll see we've taken everything down that previously was up online. And by the time we're done with this call, there'll be a coming soon page up that replaced that. It's going to be one that would be referred to as hang on one second, because I'm getting an answer back from development right now. Give me 1 second. So it would be a page that they could refer to as cash advance. And the reason that we're not just calling it probate or anything else is that potentially this is going to be used in more than just that. It will be more not just for probate, but other stuff. So it will be a page called Cash Advance. We're going to be sending you out an email in regard to this, but this becomes a significant arm of your business. This gives you the opportunity not only to represent yourself far more favorably with the people that you talk to, but in addition, this represents a big chunk of change. So this isn't small potatoes. The folks that I spoke with this morning have teams standing by to process this information, and they're really serious about it. They see it as a great opportunity for us, for them, and all of that. So that's an important piece of that. Second thing I want to talk about is just another little topic that we talked about in that same call, and that is that they're going to be revisiting something that has been around for a while, but we are putting some new angles on it if we can make it work, and that is to do commission advances. That's been around for a while, so that that's real simple, that when something went into escrow, if you have a contract that you can submit, there are companies out there who would potentially give you an advance against the sale of the property at close of escrow. We've come up with a program that might be able to work out a program so that you could literally get a cash advance at the point that a contract for listing was done. And you'd get a small amount there and a larger amount when it closed. So I'm not trying to tease you with that. If I had more information on it, I would let you know, but we're working on it, and we will be, as we are with this, pretty much the exclusive agents for all of this. And in all of the cases with the cash advance program and the rest of this, this is part of being a member of our group, our family, and our subscriber group. You're not going to be able to get it. Otherwise, this program won't exist elsewhere. So it's exciting, and it's something that we think is important. Last thing I'm going to touch on quickly is our pre-probate program. We are ready to roll that out. We will be rolling it out the first of next month. We'll be sending you out information on that as well. We're finalizing all of the details on it, making sure that the collateral material is ready. And we're going to be doing some training on it. Bruce and I and Jim and Chuck are going to put our heads together and figure out the best way to create a quick specialized training for you so that you understand how to fit this in and put it alongside your regular probate business so that they complement each other and just more opportunities to grow. It's particularly interesting to those of you who are investors who say, you know, often by the time you get to this, by the time we get you the information after the personal representative has been appointed, sometimes the property's already changed hands. This gets in front of that process, but we're going to teach you how to do it in such a way that you're not leaving blood on the water when you go, because the last thing that we want to encourage you to do is to go out there and become a predator. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. I wanted to let you know that, and now we want to get into your questions. It is *6 and press 1 to get in the queue, and that's all I have, Jim. Jim?
Did I lose you guys?
Well, sorry about that. I had muted myself. Sorry about that. I said we have 2 people in the queue. Tim, I was just going to add real quickly to make it very clear that one of the reasons it sometimes takes us a while to come up with programs and to roll them out like this, anything like the cash advance that we roll out, we're going to incorporate that. Any benefits like that we give to the seller will also be incorporated in the sample letters that we have. So you don't have to go back and, redesign your letter. We're going to, it's going to be turnkey. Cash advance is just the first of many new things we have coming out. But by the time we're ready to do that, it'll be something that'll already be in the sample letters, and, it'll be a turnkey operation like everything else that we do. And we do have 2 people in the queue, so let's jump to the first caller this week. Is phone number ending in 4284. You're up first.
Hi, this is Jeanette. This is my very first call, and I'm
Welcome.
working with Hi, thank you. I'm working with Eric, so I'm kind of like going to be his ISA, I guess, but I'm also a licensed realtor. So I might be going on the listings, or I'm not quite exactly sure. And I don't even really know my question. I'm looking through things on. Go ahead.
No, please finish.
Well, I'm looking on things on the website, so like I'm logging in so I can get to his leads and stuff. I noticed like that coaching call. So he gets a coaching call. If he doesn't want to take it, can I take it?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what about going to that new foundation class? So when I go in here to look to register for it, it's got all Eric's information in there. Can I put my email in there and have it sent to me? Or does he need to forward it to me?
Tim, that's probably a development question. Is that possible?
No, it's not a development question.
Something?
Yeah, it's not a development question. The issue is if what you're saying is that you're basically going to be doing everything there is to be done in regard to this, Eric has the account and the login information. If he chooses to give that to you, you can go in and change anything you want in that user record. But that's going to be something that Eric will have to do.
Okay. So even right now, because it looks like right now I could actually type in my name instead of Eric's and put in my email address.
I'm assuming what you're telling me is that he's given you his login, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then if he's done that, I would certainly think you should clear it with the owner of the site. But if he's given you the login, that's why he trusts you to go do that. And you can change it to whatever you want to. We simply deal with it programmatically. So if your name and email address are what shows up, that's what's going to appear.
Okay, good, because I'm going to be his secret weapon.
Well, it sounds like you'll be a good weapon.
And then let's see, one other question. Do you guys don't have written out scripts, do you?
Bruce?
No. So yes and no. The truth is we don't really believe in scripts. Having written a lot of scripts and provided a lot of scripts to ISAs, agents, investors, all alike, they tend to end up being a crutch that you never really let go of. And I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of prospectors don't let go of that crutch. And we want you to be able to let go of it. With that said, and I realize I'm opening myself up to get bombarded with emails. With that said, if you send me an email to bruce@alltheleads.com, I will get you a copy of a script that I've used with some ISAs specifically before. And please don't lean on it for too long. Use it as kind of a guide during your start, and then branch out into just open dialogue and conversation after that.
Okay. Yeah, I have listened to some of the training and calls and stuff. You have great information. So. Well,
thank you.
All right. And then one other funny thing. So, like trying to look at these leads, and we don't have the Probate Plus at this point. But so if I'm looking at a lead and it says attorney and it has that little red asterisk next to his number on a do not call list, why would an attorney be on a do not call list?
So sometimes the attorney on the court filing, they use their cell phone, and for what reason, I don't know. And obviously we can only deal with what we can deal with. What I would recommend that you do is if you want to call that attorney, you're in that local market, Google the attorney's name and get phone number at the office. But typically it's there because they use their cell phone. They just do that from time to time. Okay.
That makes sense.
You could also just look up the attorney's information on Google and find the office number and give it a direct call.
Okay.
That's what I said. but I'm
right,
sure you
then.
said it better. I'm sure you said it better.
I was just more succinct. Let's just say that.
I understood you both.
Thanks.
All right. Well, welcome secret weapon. You're not much of a secret anymore, but please keep coming back and interacting. We appreciate you. All righty.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Now, we only have one more in the queue, guys. Hit *6 and hit 1 if you would like to be next. In the meantime, our old friend Eddie, phone number 5464. You're up next.
Hey,
Eddie.
been a minute.
It has
What's
been
up, Eddie?
a little bit more than a minute.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things have happened, but not that I didn't have lack of intention on getting on the calls before now. It just got busy, you know. But different things have happened. I figured I'd check in and let you guys know. I got discouraged for a little bit. I assume there's not anybody on here who's ever gotten discouraged. So I had to pull myself out of that. Just lack of, you know, kind of spinning my wheels. Sense of doing the same thing and not seeing a difference. But it worked out, just staying consistent. The other day I got a phone call from a guy, and it was a probate lead, and I don't know exactly how old that one was, but the guy, he called me. He lives in Oklahoma. We're in Kansas City. They were getting foreclosed on their dad in like 10 days. And I was like, well, we can't even get title work back in 10 days to get you like a house sale. It's like, but we made it work. I was like, just go get an extension and we'll get this house listed. So we got it cleared out, completely cleared out, emptied, cleaned, photoed, and on the market in like 7 days, and got an offer. We got it listed by January 1 and got an offer like January 4th for February 2nd. So the mortgage company was cool with that timeline. And so instead of losing the house, him and his siblings will like pocket, you know, they'll get something to walk away with, which is cool.
Outstanding.
Great. Good job.
Yep.
Good job.
And
hey, Eddie, I was going to jump in.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bruce. Finish. Go for it. I was just going to jump in real quick and say.
I'm going to talk over you.
Boy, it's just one of those weeks. Bruce, I insist. You go first.
All right. Now, just leave me alone for a minute. And then, no, did that come from a prospecting call or was that a letter? Where did that relationship
that one
start from?
Came from a letter. Hadn't called them. I hadn't called this particular lead yet. So he had gotten my letter. I think it was coincidental that they were going out, and he got it right at the same time that he got notified by his family members that the bank had put a foreclosure thing on the door.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the thing, guys. My comment to that, Eddie, is that, yes, mailing can be coincidental. Dialing and prospecting can also be coincidental. You don't know when someone's going to answer, what they're going to be going through on a day, when they're going to open their mailbox up and open a letter, and what their experience is going to be for that day. I would imagine that guy probably got other letters from other agents or investors that he ignored. And so the cumulative approach really does work, even if it's coincidental. If you're doing a prospecting effort that is coincidental, it does mean that you have to be steady and consistent with it and do it for an extended period of time. And over that period of time, the numbers just work out. You're going to have the right circumstances align on the right day frequently. That will happen. And a lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's all coincidental, it's all circumstantial, I just got lucky. Well, if you do the right things consistently and steadily over time, you're going to get lucky multiple times. If you're sending one letter out and saying, I didn't get anybody, or if you're making one round of calls and nobody did anything, this isn't going to work. Well, of course it's not going to work, because we're relying on catching people in the right frame of mind and the right day when they're feeling some kind of a pain or inconvenience that they want help with. And so that's what just happened to Eddie, guys. And if you do the same things, that will also happen to you over time. All right, Eddie, sorry to kind of step on your story there, but I thought that was a good point to emphasize.
And, that I don't know how long I've been a subscriber, but that's, I think, why I have been a subscriber for so long, is exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And what I was going to add real quick. Go ahead, Eddie. Finish.
Go ahead. No,
I thought you were finished. I thought I waited. All right. What I was going to add, before I forget, I don't think I will, keep jumping in, but you mentioned you told them to go back and get an extension, which was good advice. I was just going to add that in almost any market, you can find a real estate attorney that will almost always, in our market here, we have an attorney for $300. He'll get the sale stopped, and I can't say 100% of the time, but I honestly can't ever remember a case where he couldn't. So you might want to find somebody like that for whatever the fee is, $300, $500, whatever, as a last resort. You can tell the people, go back, try to get the sale stopped. If you're not making headway, I can refer you to an attorney that'll do it for you. So, give them, because it's kind of hit or miss to tell the seller to just go back and get it stopped. Fortunately it worked out in this case, but depending, a foreclosure a week away is a pretty short fuse. So they must have done something. They either got real lucky or they did something right to get it stopped a week before the sale. So you may want to have an attorney in your arsenal, for future to give the seller that option.
That's good. I didn't think about that, but that is something I'll get. So, that one worked out well. And I charged them a little bit more. I know you guys don't say to do this, but I charged them more on my commission because of the duration of how fast it had to be done. I ended up doing more of the manual work, but I told him up front, I was like, I'm going to charge you 6% on my seller side. He was like, I don't know that I could get it done anyway. So he was cool with it.
Sure.
So,
good job. So you basically got a double commission.
Yeah. So the other thing is just going back to follow-ups. I'm doing exactly what you guys have told, and there was a lady that I called a long time ago, and she had a house in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and she was like, yeah, I'm going to make this a rental house. I just put it on a follow-up list for a year out. And I called her the other day, and I was like, hey, how's the rental house going? And she's like, well, I'm still working on it. And I was like, okay, what are you going to do with it when you're done? And she's like, well, I think I'm going to sell it now. And I was like, okay. And I was like, so trying to get her to do a listing agreement with me. She was like, no, if you're interested in it, call me back. I'm still finishing it, but call me back. But, so many people have such grand ideas to make a property a rental property, and then it doesn't work out how they want it to and end up selling. So following up with them, it's what you guys told me to do, and that's what I'm doing. So hopefully, that could turn out to.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bruce.
So I know Tim has something that he wants to say, but I wanted to clarify that we, and if any of my cohorts on this call have said don't charge more commission, then I'm just going to go ahead and say they're wrong. I'm happy you charged more commission. I think that you should charge as much as you can get as long as there's value there and you're not ripping people off without providing service. So if you have a plan where you can get 6% on your side, or 5%, or 4, or 10, for those of you that were on the listing class, I gave you guys a plan to get 10% on your side. If you can do that, go for it. I love it. And now I'll go ahead and open it up for anyone that disagrees with me. And just remember, I'll remember if you disagree with me on that.
I hate when you threaten people. The only thing I was going to add, first off, I was going to say almost something similar, which is that if you're not charging for the work that you do, you either have to look at what you're doing and say, I'm investing in my future. There's a good reason that this person's going to be a great ambassador for me and all of that. Or you're saying, hey, I'm doing a whole bunch of work here and I'm putting in hours and hours. And because I'm putting in a bunch of hours, I think this needs to be fair for me as well. And you're coming out of this, hole and money in your pocket that you're not going to have if I don't do that. So that's why I'm doing this and it's fair. And it sounds like that's exactly what you said. I think that's a great thing. The other thing I was going to point out is that, I'm going to hammer home that point that Bruce made earlier. You don't know if if the phone call that you made 3 months ago is going to bear fruit. You don't know if it's a letter that, you sent out 3 months ago, it's going to bear fruit. The thing you got to remember is that the letter is something they can keep. Phone call they might remember, and unless they happen to write your phone number down or say, who was that guy and or that gal that I talked to and I don't remember who that was. I wish I had that. Send something out. It's a good mailing piece. They're going to keep it and hold on to it, and that'll be the one that they call. Last part of that is that we constantly say to you that you should go back and market to your old leads for some of the same reasons that Eddie just brought up. The lady that he was talking to several months ago was at the point she was converting it to a rental house. And now she's decided she's not going to operate it. She wants to sell it. So she basically did all the rehab. Now she wants to, flip it over to him, and he can probably flip it and do something else with it, which is great. But if you do, appropriate marketing, whether it's calls or letters, and our recommendation is you put something tangible in their hand, by the time you're doing that, you're going to be the only person marketing to them. And if it's a lead that you worked 6 months ago and you didn't get anywhere with it, 6 months after that, send something else out. Give it a shot, because you invest in those leads, and everybody that we have, for the most part, that does that, it always bears fruit. And Jim makes the same point. Every time we go back to something we had, let languish for a while and we revisit it, it's the waking the dead. There's always somebody in there that their circumstances changed, and they changed that day. And if you're the person that's marketing to them on the day that circumstance changed, you win. So keep that in mind as you look at this. And, if you're going to invest in your future, that's a great place to invest. And kudos to you, Eddie. Good job, bud. Chuck, what you got, bud?
Well, thanks.
So one of the things that I've set up in my particular business is, establishing another entity. Many of the listeners to this podcast are also investors, and it's likely that some of you have your own contracting business, et cetera. But having an entity that would be able to, whether you're subcontracting out to other folks to do clean outs and those types of things, and that way you can issue that invoice. It's more advanced from a standpoint of entity structuring, but being able to have those types of businesses and separate it directly from your real estate and your listing contracts, that would be another alternative and something to at least explore with your professional advisors for, taxes and your business setup. So it can be very, very specific to each person, but it's another option that you can consider to establish that as a revenue stream while you're helping people overcome these obstacles in probate.
Yep. Good point.
Nice.
All right, Eddie. Well, thank you, sir.
Do you want to hear about it's not a probate thing, but every once in a while I get a pretty wicked find. Please. We have two. We got two more in the queue. So but if you want to briefly give us another idea, that'd be great. Go ahead. Well, this is one that was across the street from the house that I lived in a couple of years ago, and it sat vacant all this time. I tried to find the owners, couldn't find them. Found out that they had stolen some people's identity, and then they got bankrupt, and that bankruptcy went on the people's identity that they stole. So they're like really not good people, you know. So anyway, then we filed an Abandoned Housing Act, which I believe I told you guys about, which like takes possession of a property if people neglect it. Well, we couldn't do that because they had filed bankruptcy. So then after the bankruptcy happened, I searched for them again, and I hired a bankruptcy attorney to go through the bankruptcy paperwork, and then I hired a private investigator to go to their house in Alabama and track them down and say, hey, I'll buy this house. I ended up finding them with the private investigator. I told them I'd give them $1,000 because what happened is they forfeited the house to the bank. The bank said we don't want it. So then it was sitting there in their name. They didn't know they owned it. The bank wasn't taking it. It was just going to sit there till it goes to tax sale. And so I ended up buying it for $5,000 plus the taxes. And then I immediately sold it to my other business for $25,000. And now I'm rehabbing it. So.
Wow.
It's going to be a pretty
awesome
sweet deal. But it took me 4 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
But
what will at the end of it? How much will you net after you rehab and sell it? So you've made 20 already. What do you think your total profit will be on the deal when you're done?
We're guessing about 100,000. Well, 100,000 after the flip, and then so probably 120.
So it took you 4 years to make 120,000. If you did that a few times a year, not a bad ROI, right? That's great.
You know, I think it's gonna turn out okay. So I didn't spend all 4 years, you know, just a little bit of time every year on it, but yeah, and it was just such a blight in the neighborhood. The neighborhood's getting really fixed up, and it was just. If we got out 4 years ago, the dilapidation would have been much less. But anyway.
So Eddie, is it safe to say you're not depressed anymore?
No, 2021 is kicking ass so far. So I'm gung ho and keeping going in this business. So
I don't want to depress you, but it's actually 2022. So.
Oh, 22. That's right. I forgot it. It changed.
Yeah. So that's going to be even better.
You're a year older than you thought you were.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, great stuff, Eddie. We got a full queue, buddy, but thank you. So far, you got the idea of the week and the win of the week. So you're the double winner, buddy. Great stuff, man. Thanks for sharing. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right. Next up is phone number ending in 8766. You're up next.
Hey, how are you guys? Mine's gonna be really quick. I'm new to this call. I was actually referred to you guys, but somebody who recommended I come and hop on this call. And so really, I just kind of wanted to share my info with you, and I'd love to maybe talk to one of you guys offline.
Sure. What's your first name, sir? I have your phone number.
Sure.
What's your first name?
First name is Joe.
Joe, if it's okay with you, I'll have one of our account executives reach out to you right after the call, kind of walk you through an overview. Take, good 5-10 minutes and explain the whole system to you. I'm assuming you haven't spoken to anyone yet, correct?
No, I have not. I just kind of stuck my way in here and been listening and
awesome.
It seems pretty cool. So yeah, I'd love to. Please have them reach out to me. I'd love to hear from them.
All right, buddy. Well, welcome. Perfect. Thanks for being here. Next up is phone number ending in 4089. You're up next.
Hi, good morning. This is Chris. I wanted a follow-up question. I don't know if anybody can speak to this, but I'm in California, and I don't believe that I can charge more than 5% commission on a probate. Can anybody speak to that?
I knew that was going to come up,
buddy.
Bruce.
Why do you guys always saddle me with the hard questions?
You're the one who told him to charge usury rates, you'd figure you get out of this.
Yeah, it really depends on how probate was set up. Full authority, limited authority. Limited authority in California really does restrict what you can charge on a probate. I've never sold a probate in California, but I do know that there are some restrictions there that are not placed on you in other states. So if you've got someone that's in limited authority, that's absolutely correct.
Chris, the other thing I was going to ask is that
on those is I would.
I'm sorry, bud. Go ahead.
Interesting, Tim. Yeah, see how it goes real fast. Is you could take some of those off to the vendors and onto settlement statements. So they can still pay, to my knowledge, they can still pay extra money that doesn't have to go directly to you. So you could take some of those expenses, some of those offers, instead of fronting that money yourself in exchange for a higher commission, you could have your vendors front that money, they'll get and the vendor could get paid separately. So it kind of gives you the ability to manufacture a little to you for providing a better service. Hopefully that makes sense.
Bruce, you're breaking up a little bit, and so was Chris. It might be the call. Chris, the other thing I was going to say real quick, we got a full queue today, guys. Good participation. But what I was going to say real quick, too, that's a really good reason to try to get your sellers to apply for full authority if they haven't. You know, it's one of many reasons why it just makes the whole process easier and smoother. But you know, get what you can, and there's different ways of skinning a cat. And Bruce, do you have any? I have no idea, and I wouldn't even know this. In California, do you know what percentage of them are full versus limited authority? Are a majority of them limited or full, or who knows?
It seems like the majority are limited authority, especially if our trained agents haven't gotten in there first. We're finding that if we can catch people before they file probate or before they pick their attorney, you've got a much better chance of getting a full authority there. And it just helps. Not only does it help us with our income, but it really also helps a lot. It helps the consumer a lot as well. Limited authority takes a lot of power away from the consumer. So those of you that are in California, maybe are new to probate, don't think that we're only trying to teach you how to milk the poor family for as much as possible. That's not it. Full authority in California just gives everyone a benefit. And you know what? I would argue that limited authority is an unethical approach, potentially, in California, because it kind of benefits the lawyer more than anyone else.
Right.
So, Chris, the thing I was going to ask, and you'll need to check this because I'm not going to tell you that it's the right answer, but I will tell you that I lived in California for a number of years. It's been a while since I lived there, but I know that when I was there, realtors were taking a listing, and a couple of them who pitched me on one of the condos that I was selling had a services contract that they offered along with it, and it was literally a personal services contract. And it was some of the same things that Eddie was talking about, getting places cleaned up and all that sort of thing. They were, and Bruce was alluding to it because the vendors could deal with it, but they were basically laying it out, and people were agreeing to pay it, and they were just simply being willing to wait to get paid. It wasn't going on the HUD, wasn't going anywhere else. There was a contract between them and the seller as a personal services contract. So I'm not sure that is legal, illegal, or anything else in California. However, I know that when I lived there, it was being done and done frequently. So it might be something you would consider doing. I would check with your broker, but if in fact you're offering services above and beyond the normal effort that you put in as far as a list and sale, you need to get paid for it if you can. Otherwise, like I said, you're making a donation and hoping they're going to give you some value out of it. So I know we've given you a lot of things to talk about, but those are some things to consider. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty.
And the
Whoops.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think I dropped you prematurely. Sorry about that. We got 3 in the queue. If you had a follow-up and you want to jump in, go ahead and hit back in. In the meantime, phone number ending in 2020.
Chris is back.
Chris, you are there?
yeah, I'm here.
Chris, are you there? Oh, okay. I thought I dumped you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you did, but you picked me back up. I don't want to take
Okay.
a lot of time with this because I'm sure that you've talked about it a lot of times, and so if you want to just maybe point me to the archive calls. But I just got my first list of leads, and the majority of them are on the do not call. And so is that just kind of the way it is, or is there a workaround, or?
So it is kind of the way it is. You live in a state that is highly, a lot of people put themselves on do not call list. The choice that you have to make is how best to deal with the opportunities that you have. Our job is to give you the phone numbers, give you the data that you're looking for, and make you aware of what the ins and outs of the TCPA laws are, and give you the best information we can. And we can't tell you certainly to call them. That's not our job to tell you that. Our job is to give you the information. But you do live in a state where it's highly done that way. I will tell you that obviously if a personal representative for a person has to deal with issues in regard to the estate of the person that they're representing, they're going to have to take phone calls. And I will leave it at that. That's as far as I'm willing to go with that. But I think you need to tread carefully, make yourself familiar with the law.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And
All righty.
I believe you're on now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Crystal.
Yeah, hi. I am in Georgia. I just got my leads the other day, and everything that I've heard and read just went out the window. So I just need to know what's my next step.
You're good. You're good. Chuck, do you want to take that one?
I most certainly
If not,
can. I'm
okay.
definitely one of the first steps, Crystal, is to make sure that you're scheduled for the upcoming Probate Foundation class, where Bruce is going to take you on the live Zoom, where basically he's gonna show you how to set up your professional referral team that you're going to need to help people overcome obstacles that they face. So you're not in there cleaning out a house by yourself and those types of things. We definitely want to have professional partners to help with that. And also then really dig into the details of what's the marketing approach that you want to take to. Ultimately, every deal comes from a conversation, and we either want to send them valuable information that they can directly respond to. We absolutely can fulfill those direct mail campaigns for you. And the other approach is, to initiate that conversation directly and pick up the phone and reach out to folks and deliver the value proposition of how we can help them over the phone. So in order to do that, day 2 of that foundation class really is going to break down what's the call structure approach? How do you make it authentic? How do you make it real for you reaching out to help somebody, leading with that helping hand and calling the folks that show up on the list that we're providing you at all the leads. So that would be first step. That's really going to lay the foundation for you to grow this as part of your business. Starting out.
Okay.
This will get you up and running for the first 3 to 6 months, and we can grow from there with monthly coaching calls.
All right, great. Well, I have another question too, because this was when everything went out the window. This is what I kept thinking, is that okay, I got my leads. They came a couple days, I guess about 4 days early, and being them 4 days early, the foundations class is not until I believe it's on the 2nd. I'm not sure. I have to confirm on my calendar, but I'm still like 8 days in, and I'm just sitting on these leads, and that's like a week away. So I'm thinking it should be something in the process that I could be doing to kind of prepare for this, because, once you drop anything in the mail, that mail is going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to get anywhere to a person, and then they may not even see it. So I don't know. Help me out with that because
Two things.
That's still a week.
Yep. Two things. So number one is go ahead and get yourself one good letter. One. We do recommend more than that over time, but you can start with a single letter. It should be a help-centered letter. So your first letter is generally going to be something that sort of paints a picture of everything that you can help with: real estate, property clean out, attorney connections, and there's a bunch of letters that kind of cover the whole picture of what you do. So that's typically your first letter, is kind of an introduction, letting them know that you're not just going to come put a sign in their yard, but you can help with the process. The second thing is even if you don't feel like you have your exact call approach down, I would pick the phone up and try to make it through your list at least once. And the biggest thing that most people struggle with, and we are going to go into detail on this on foundations, but the biggest thing most people struggle with is going to be how to describe your service. So I like to describe my service as I like to picture an umbrella with a couple of additional pieces under the umbrella. So the umbrella of the service that you describe is that you have a concierge service that helps families through probate. So that's the umbrella. And as you get into the call, the pieces under the umbrella are going to be you can help with real estate management. And when I use the words real estate management, I don't mean rental management. I mean anything that they need help with real estate related. You can help with personal property management, and then you can help with repair and maintenance management. So those are kind of your pieces under the umbrella of a large concierge service. If I get somebody on the phone that's really aggressive, really short, they don't have a lot of time, I feel like they're not going to stick around and listen an explanation. I just tell them to offer a concierge service that really helps you through any piece of probate that you're going through that you don't know how to handle or don't have time to handle. Can you tell me where in the probate process you, and now turn the conversation over.
Yeah, Tim wanted to add something. Go ahead, Tim.
You're breaking up a little bit there, but again, I don't know what's going on with your phone today. Hey, we've only got a little bit more time, and we're running close to the end of the hour, and we got a couple of people in it. The only thing I was going to ask, have you had your meeting with the marketing implementation specialist yet, Crystal?
You talking about with Chuck Sear? That's the first consultation that I had. I had a consultation with Chuck. Yeah, and I haven't had it
talk with
since
Chuck, but you haven't, right. I'm going to make sure that our marketing implementation specialist gets with you after the call, and we'll help you get your letter squared away so that you can get stuff out and get rolling here, because you don't want to sit there and, get nothing happening. And, Bruce gave you good advice. We'll help you get that done. We have, and I'm sure, Chuck mentioned that you need to get that call out of the way, and we'll get her to reach out to you and help you get started with that. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.
All righty. Next up, Jimmy.
All right. Next up, we got two people left, and we got 5 minutes. So, Mr. Janinga, you're up next. 2729.
Good morning. Hope everybody's well.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
I'll try and make a couple comments. I was listening to one of the recordings in the last 2 weeks, and we received a follow-up asking me if I wanted to enroll. So I must have done something wrong, because I've already had the probate classes in mastery, and I frequently go back and listen to anything I can, because my hearing is bad, so I don't catch everything that's said. So that's why I go back and listen to things over and over on the classes. So I must have done something wrong to have somebody follow up. So I apologize if that ruffled anybody's feathers. Other question that I have is, how many people do we have in mastery, roughly?
I'm sorry, what's your question again? How many people do we have where?
In mastery.
What do you mean in mastery? You mean how many people have taken the course?
Yes, just roughly.
Yeah, it's hundreds and hundreds, bud.
Okay.
Lots and lots.
Okay, well, here's my question and thought. I've been a realtor investor for over 20 years, and I've only gone to seminars for two different people. One is strictly IRA, and the other is a rehab session, and most of them aren't worth anything except for these two people. Has there ever been any thought to having like maybe a once-a-year physical on-site seminar somewhere, like Florida in January?
Yes.
Would be wonderful.
Yes. We've talked about it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Just so that you know, prior to doing this in a past life, we actually did an annual real estate cruise. We basically bought out decks of cruise ships, put people on them at really great rates, and made it an educational experience to get a lot of that done. We love to get people together. We just have been beaten up by COVID. We would have already done that already had we had the chance, and we will definitely, as soon as it's safe, we're definitely going to put together a physical meeting, bring people together, because we'd love to see some smiling faces and have fun together. So I appreciate you saying that. That's a great thing for you to have brought up, because we will act on that. Thank you.
Okay. Couple other quick comments. I know it's running short. When you talk about working with the clients, whether it's to do the cash advance, to do the loan, whatever it takes, and I've done them multiple ways, but I've only done them in Michigan. And what I've actually done somewhere, I've actually bought a property and paid the property transfer tax and other expenses, as long as it all financially makes sense. And it's the same as you, the comment about stopping the sheriff's sale, because I do attend the sheriff's sale. And what I found is that there's something that we need to do, because the property's not in the REO section yet, it's still in loss mitigation, is I don't even try to have contact with them. I just have my attorney call and say, look, we have the funds available as soon as the wire room opens tomorrow morning. If we agree on terms, we'll send the wire. That usually works pretty good. But like when I do that, it's really only in Michigan. So those things do work, and you're absolutely right. And the last comment I had about the person that was talking to someone as the lady wanted to become a landlord, I always have two comments for them. And I explain to them that there's a difference between a landlord and an investor. And one is toilets, trash, and tenants. And then the other case is divorce, drugs, and death. I say, if you get past that, then you can become an investor versus a landlord. And usually that gets their attention. Because I said, look, if you're Christian, on Christmas Day, if the toilet overflows, guess what? You're going to go fix the toilet. Or the same thing, you can do it during Hanukkah or one of the other religious holidays. You're stuck for that repair bill, and if you get a contractor, it's double, triple the charges. And I said, you'll lose in court, because in Michigan, the judges are very friendly towards the tenants versus the owners. It's just the way it is, and you have to learn to adapt to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are good points.
Good stuff, Bill. We appreciate it. The T's are the D's. I love your acronyms. All right. So, hey, thank you, Bill. Appreciate it, buddy. Last up this week, we're going to go just a few minutes over. Last up is 4471. You're up last.
Hi, guys. Greetings from Winston, Covington in Southern California. Just a quick response to the lady, I think her name was Chris, asking about what's allowable for probate court-confirmed type listings. It varies, but in L.A. County, 5%, Orange County, the county just south of L.A., 6%. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys.
Good information. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, I tell you what, this was the best participation, certainly of the year, and probably in a long time. Really good turnout, really good participation. I think we know who our winner of the week is. Congratulations, Eddie. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to particularly thank all of you who actively participated and shared so many great thoughts and ideas. And I want to challenge each of you, take one thing that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next week and share the results with the group. Have a great week, everybody. We will talk to you same time next Thursday. Take care.